Good evening, everybody. Good to see y'all. Hope you all are having a good night. Sorry for the slight delay in getting started here. This music is very loud. Is this music very loud for you all? I think it is. There, that's probably a lot better. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay. I was chatting with my family, but we are here and good to go now. So what we are doing tonight, as people start to come in, we are focusing tonight on trying to finish some of these projects that I have open. So I've got this Beano box car that's pretty close to finished, honestly. It needs basically some roof work and a little more, some oil paint on the sides and then some powder. And this guy is basically done. And that's going to be based on the bottom image. And then at the Model Train People Train-a-thon this past Friday, I opened up the Train-a-thon by getting this guy done. This is obviously this top prototype image, and I was very happy with how this came out. It looks almost exactly like the prototype, which is really great. I want to darken this panel a little bit more, but I may not do that on stream. And I gotta add a couple of rust dots to this side as well. But what I do definitely want to do this stream is at the very least start work on the other 4 sides of this car. The 3 sides and the roof that need to get started. So I want at the very least get those begun. But we're going to start off with the B&O car because we have had that project open for longer. And so I want to get it done. I want to share some pictures to the folks at the Second Section podcast. Since I started this project, this car, as part of the Second Section podcast's group build that they're doing right now, where everyone gets to everyone is encouraged to weather a car and get started. So we're gonna start off with this guy. So let me get my gloves on here. I've also got a third open project on the desk here, but we're not gonna do that live on stream, and that is this guy right here. Just so you all see what's going on in the background here. This is the start to a ATSF shock control 50-foot boxcar. This guy is not going to show up on stream, or at least not this stream. This guy is I'm working on as a clinic for the NERX virtual convention that is coming up next month. So over the next day or two, I'm going to get that recorded. I don't know if you can actually see it in my camera. You can't, but I've got my camera with my tripod right here because I was recording the starting steps of that. But not sure exactly what you're talking about, Heath. Well, I guess if you're talking about that that Santa Fe car, yeah. I've got a different reference image for that. It's up on my other screen over here. But that car is not going to be weathered here on stream. That is going to be my NERX clinic car. I started work on that before my stream. I was doing recording of it as opposed to live streaming it. And that's going to be a 45 minute clinic that's going to go up as part of NERX next month. So you can keep an eye out for that there. The cars that we're working on tonight are the B&O car, which was hiding underneath, and the Penn Central, ex-Penn Central car, the Conrail car here. This side is done. I did this side Friday night as part of the Model Train People's Train-a-thon stream, which, by the way, thank you to everyone who tuned in, to everyone who donated, etc. Heath, thanks for the 50 that you threw in there. Really appreciate that. At the end of the stream on Saturday night, we wound up with $1,025 raised, which was incredible. But I was only able to get the one side done. Everything it has the light fade, but only the one side has the rust and the grime. So we're going to start off by finishing up the B&O car, because I was doing that as part of the second section podcast group build. And then we're going to jump back to the the Conrail car. I keep wanting to call it a Penn Central car because it's green. It's not a Penn Central car anymore. Excuse me. All right. So for this B&O car, we're going to do just a little bit of work with my oils to add some light streaking and just touch up some colors and bring some color to the roof. And then we're going to do some powder work to get a little bit of blending going. And then we're going to jump to the Conrail car, which has a lot more weathering to be done. Heath, I don't know if you have any of these more modernized Microtrains 40-footers. This is a very nice car, though. I got this at the excuse me, at the Amherst show as part of signing up for Winterfest, which is the Northeast End Track convention. These cars are very nice. They come with no roof walk, so actually probably you wouldn't have them because it's probably a little too modern for your layout. But one of the things that I really like about them is that it has a little, if I can get the light in there. There we go. Little etched metal end walk, which is pretty neat. Let's see. There you go. There you can see it on the bottom. Little etched metal walkway on the end of the car, which is a nice little detail that I don't know that Microtrains has done before very recently. So, just figured I'd show that off to you. I've got two of those. I've got the B&O one and Penn Central one. Which, the Penn Central one is a future project. The most annoying thing about these two cars is I fully disassembled them so I could... I made the mistake of fully disassembling them so I could do... I could add the ACI label onto this car, and so that I could dull coat them both to get a nice weathering surface. And as part of that full disassembly, I took off the brake wheels. Yeah, those are gone now. I have no idea where those are. They're probably here somewhere. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even begin to tell you where. So that was a mistake, but it's all right. I'll figure it out. I've got some brake wheels that I think fit the holes here that I can make do with. Let's start off with the oil paint here. Let me make sure I pull up the image here. Big for myself. That way I can actually see my reference image up close. There we go. Now I can actually see what I'm working on. Okay, so we need to get a little bit of this. Well, first of all, we need to get a little bit of this in here to justify that there. And then we need to get some up on the top of the door rail. And let's see, we've got a big scrape down here. Put in a couple of big scrapes. And then pull those down. You get slight streaking coming out of those. Excuse me. I'm mostly over that cold that I was fighting this weekend, which is good. But as you can hear, my voice is still a little gravelly. I feel very much better, though. There we go. Now I'll spread some more around down here. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Let's get some speckling going on up here. So I like that little speckles of some rust just starting to poke through in a couple places. That's kind of nice. Pardon me. Goodness. And we'll get a little bit on the door here. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, let's go to the car end. Can't see very much on the cars on the car end of my reference photo. But what I can see, oh, actually, what I can see is a little more work needed in here, around the corner of the car. And then what I'm going to assume is a couple of light spots along the very top edges of these, the car ends here. These ridges on the car ends. Evening, Paul. A good stream earlier. That Dash 7 is looking really good. Man, I cannot wait to see that running on your layout, man. Hopefully by the time October rolls around, it'll be up and running, and maybe I can run it if I get up there for Ops Around the Clock. Excuse me. Oh, I am working off camera. Why did nobody yell at me? No one yelled at me that I wasn't on camera. Come on, guys. And we'll get some rust, some light rust on the edges of the end walk here. We'll get to the roof in a bit. I want to work my way around the sides of the cars first, because those are basically done. The roof is going to need a little bit more attention. All right. Should I have taken off my sweater before I started weathering? Probably. Am I going to take it off now? Probably not. I'm already committed. Oops, too much. That's not bad. Some light streaks going on there. There we go. That's pretty good. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Let's get a little more on the bottom rail of the door. And then work our way to the other edge. Let's get a little bit of rust starting to show up in the logo. Sometimes you'll get the paint peeling off the logo. Excuse me. Exposing some of the metal underneath. There we go. And more spot specs up here. Good stuff. Let's get a little bit. Let's see. It looks like in the corners of some of these panels, there's a little bit. Let's go in. And match that. There we go. I like that. That looks pretty good. Just kind of dab at it to thin it down a little bit. That's pretty good. I'm fairly happy with that. Couple little specks along the top edge of the roof here. I like that. That's good. Some more on the corner here. All these exposed spots and corners and stuff where the paint will start to peel or chip or whatever. That's where I go for. That top edge right there, this right here. This side's already pretty decent with just the acrylics. But it's still worth going over again with the oils in some of these spots. That's pretty good. I'm fairly happy with that boxcar end. Oh jeez, so many Discord notifications out of nowhere for me. Goodness. All right, and that brings us all the way around, so that's pretty good. This is going to need a little bit of powder to really sell this streak a little better. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to work on the roof here. So I'm going to do basically with the oil paints alone, I'm going to do the roof. The oil paints and the powders is all that the roof's going to get, I think. Oh, I forgot almost forgot to get a little bit of rust on the edges of the walkway there. So on the roof here, I'm going to go ahead and do just a light line down the center of the roof here. Right down the ridge line. There we go. What is my insulin pump beeping about now? What do you want from me? Oh, you just want me to know that it's almost time to replace my cartridge. Okay, thank you. Shoot, I gotta make sure that I remember to reach out to Jim over at Highball Graphics. I want to make sure my my email to him actually went through, because I haven't heard back from him, and it's been about a week now, so I gotta check in with him. See, hey, did you get my email about the decals, or are you just backed up, or what's the deal? Because preferably I'd like those decals sooner rather than later so I can finish my tips and tricks for NERX. Because that's the other thing that I'm doing for NERX. It's pretty good. Let's do a little bit of this. We get some very slight streaking down from that center line. Do a couple of build-ups right around the corners. Right in here. Down these roof lines. There we go. It's pretty good. So how's everyone been doing tonight now that we've got a good few people in here? Hopefully everyone's been doing well. Everyone had a good weekend, start to your week. I had a phenomenal weekend helping out at the train-a-thon. Good to hear, Paul. Now, if only you had that square, you'd be doing even more than wonderful. Yeah, I had an excellent weekend helping out with the train-a-thon for the model train people. Like I said earlier, we raised $1,025 for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which was awesome. Yeah. Have fun editing that. I'm sure you had a great time shooting that. Yeah, it went to the place where all the extra socks are, and all the Tupperware lids went, and all the coupler springs, and all those little things that shoot off into oblivion. But yeah, started off the weekend doing kind of rough. I was fighting this cold, but I'm doing much better now. I've kind of fought it off, thankfully. I'm doing much better now, health-wise. I'm sure actually getting some sleep Saturday night and yesterday night certainly helped. Friday night I didn't get too much sleep because I was, let's see, what was the schedule Friday night? I was up until 2 in the morning, I believe. Getting various people set up and brought onto the stream for the train-a-thon. And then I was back up again at around 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning to get someone on at 5 in the morning. And then I slept until about 10. And then I had to get up and get my layout ready, only to realize that my NCE cable was broken and my layout couldn't run. So I had to switch to DCC, or from DCC to DC. I just hooked up my DC controller. Luckily, I've got the wires all soldered on there, so it was as easy as plugging in the controller and unplugging the DCC system. That way the rails don't get constant power. But that was kind of rough. And then the rest of the day, Saturday, I just got to sit back and bring various people on and enjoy what people are working on. Yeah, Paul, that pit came out very well in the base of that Waller's kit. I really want to see you keep working on that, because that was, I mean, that kind of thing is super interesting to me. And the kit bashing is always fun. So, I think that's pretty good for how heavily weathered the sides are. Good. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do this stream is wrap up some of these projects. That way I can get to some of the other projects. I've got. So originally I was going to do a tips and tricks on roof weathering, boxcar roof weathering for NERX, which is what I did this car on. And I might honestly still edit it together and get it uploaded. For, if not for NERX, then for my channel. Because, I mean, this car, that roof came out really nice. I'm very happy with it. But, I don't know. I think it might be weird if there's so much weathering coming from me, especially if it's covering the same topics as is in my actual clinic, because I'll be weathering the roof on my clinic. So, but I need to do the rest of that car now, because the roof's done nicely, but the car sides need at least some grime. Like I showed Heath before, I've got that Penn Central, and I know you know, Paul, I've got that Penn Central 40-footer. That needs to get some work done to it. I've got a few locomotives here that need some weathering, some light weathering jobs. And then, of course, there's the project that I've been working on and off again on the stream, this building. I've decided I do want to print out some interiors, so I've got to get those designed and printed on get them on some cardstock and mount those to the walls and everything. And then I gotta mount the light on the roof, and I gotta paint the roof, and then so I'm trying to get these cars out of the way. This one and the car that I started Friday night, that Penn Central Conrail car. don't remember if you tuned in to that one, Paul. That was the very start of the train-a-thon on Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m. But it came out, this side came out very nice. This side is still basically just the bare fading, and that's about it. But one of the coolest things I think I did on this car is in the prototype photo. This prototype photo came from the Conrail Historical Society photo archives, but in the prototype photo of this car, there is some stencil marks around the some overspray from when they were stenciling the car with the Conrail lettering, and I managed to actually replicate that over top of the letters here. I got the stencil overspray, which I'm super stoked about, because that was something I wasn't sure if it was gonna be able to capture in N scale, but there it is. If I blow this image up, you'll be able to see it a little better on the prototype image. Let me do that real quick. But that was super fun to get that to happen. Let me really blow this image up. There you go. You can see right around the 1653 and 17, you can see just the bare traces of some overspray. So the fact that I was able to actually get that detail in there, I was super excited about. Because that's the kind of little detail that like most people wouldn't get, or wouldn't even bother trying to get. It's like, because I have this car is 1653 17, and that photo is, I believe, a 78 79 photo. And I know it's this car because Eastern Seaboard Models, Brian DeBlane, he uses prototype photos to get the paint schemes, which is why this car has the stenciled CR logo and the dark green patches and everything. It's because he used the prototype photo to get all the patches and everything right. So I just needed to weather it to make it look right. So if I have that level of detail already done with the paint, I may as well get the job done. You know what I'm saying? What's a good brush for this? This brush. We'll do this brush. But yeah, I love the ESM models and their wheel sets and everything. Great quality stuff for N scale. Really great quality stuff in N scale. Yes, sir, you sure are. Oh, that's funny. And this, if anyone hasn't used any of these Bragdon Enterprises weather system weathering powders, they are phenomenal. Highly recommend them. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever or anything, but the pigment is just so vibrant, and the way that the powder sticks to the model is just so good. Like, if you compare this side to that side, the difference is I mean, it just goes down so easy, and it adheres so easy, and you get so much of it. I mean, this is the size container you get, which is pretty standard for weather powders, but you really need so little of it from this stuff. You need like almost nothing. To be fair, I also haven't used very many other like proper powders, but like I got this set of these, and I don't know if I'll ever look for anything else other than the only other powders that I've used which work very well as well, are the Tamiya Weathering Master sets. But those are a little thicker and they're a little harder to get the colors just right and stuff. This is phenomenal. The only the only issue that I have with these is that they stick to your workspace as well, so you need to really scrub down your your work mat when you're done. Otherwise, you'll keep getting powder get picked up on models as you put them down. But I think that's it's testament to the product that it is so, you know, easy to be for the model to pick it up. Yeah, so I very strongly recommend these. These are, now that I have them, I don't know that I'll go back to anything else other than maybe the Tamiya stuff, because the Tamiya stuff was nice. The only of these Bragdon Systems powders that I don't have yet that I want to pick up is their I don't remember what it's called. It's like a light gray, and I want to use that. I want to try that for fading using just powders, because if I can get that to fade a car very nicely, I could very easily see myself do, like, if I'm doing work for someone and they want a lightly weathered car, or if they want like a quick job and they don't want to wait too long for the car back, I could totally see myself doing a powder only car, because this stuff is good enough to do that. If that light gray powder will fade the paint like I think it will. So I gotta pick some up and try it. Excuse me. There we go. Now we're shooting. Now we're doing good. A little more water in me. Sounds good, Paul. Thanks for tuning in for a little bit. Always good to have you in here, man. I'll see you around. Have a good night. If you're still going to keep editing, have fun editing and enjoy that process. If you're heading to sleep, get some good rest, man. So this car is definitely going to get finished tonight. That's for certain. the Conrail car might take one more evening. We'll see. Just because that one is a little more involved of a job. Because I want to match it as closely as I can to the prototype. This one I'm using the prototype as like a level guide to see how heavily to apply certain effects. The Penn Central car, or the Conrail car, I keep calling it the Penn Central car because it's that Penn Central Seafoam Green. But that car I want to make as close to the prototype as I can. There we go. Man, I gotta finish these projects up, and I gotta especially get the stuff done for NERX, because I've got a video fully edited, or not edited, fully shot. I've got plenty of B-roll ready to go. I just gotta edit it and put it up, and that's my review of the Atlas RS3 that just recently came out. It's been finished for about a month now, shooting, and I've just been so busy trying to get stuff done for the Trainathon and trying to get stuff done for NERX, and I've been so busy I haven't gotten around to just editing it, putting it up. When I get around to it, it's gonna take me like 2 hours to get it from the state it's in now to the state where it's ready to go up on the channel. So I might just sit down one night this week and do that instead of anything else. But that thing is ready to go, basically. It's just needs to get spliced together. I gotta figure out what B-roll I'm gonna use when and where. If I'm gonna cut the B-roll, some B-roll interspersed with my review, or if I'm gonna save it all till the end. But I got some B-roll of it on Heath's layout. I got some B-roll of it on the club layout, hauling passenger and freight. So I mean, that video is gonna hopefully be my best review to date as far as like actual quality content. I just gotta sit down and do it, man. Awesome. Okay, I think that is a completed car. Where is the underbody? Let me do the underbody real quick. And this guy will be done. Done. really dirty up this underframe. There we go, there we go. And now I can go in with the rust. Just around the brake lines. That done. Where did the other wheel set go? There it is. Really work that powder in there. There we go. That's good. Now let me get some of the rust powder in there. We'll put some. Oh no 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 no! I almost knocked over a powder box. That would have been a nightmare to clean. Cause this powder is so fine. Such fine particulate matter. Just some hints of this light rust color in there, especially around the springs. And some of the dark as well. There we go. Very nice. Good stuff. All right. So now let me go ahead and put the car body back on. Frame. And there we have it. I'm very happy with that. I think that came out very nice. Roof, underframe, trucks, the whole nine. The only thing that's not weathered is the couplers, but I'll get those with paint at a later date because that's a quick thing. Awesome. All right, I can put that out of the way now. That car is done. Thanks, Andrew. Good to see you, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. What's I doing? I was checking my... Where did I put my phone? I put my phone under my butt. Sorry, just lots of messages all of a sudden. Trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, cool. Hey, Sean. Good to see you. You just finished this B&O car. Here's the completed product. Slightly more heavily weathered than our prototype photo. But that's okay. I was using that more of just like a judge rather than it's not the exact same road number, so. There's the roof, underbody, trucks. So now we're going to go ahead and do some more work on this guy. This is the one again that I started work on Friday night as part of the train-a-thon, which, by the way, at the end of our 24-hour stream Saturday night, we wound up having raised $1,025 for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and that GoFundMe is still live. That's not the one on my stream right now. The one on my stream right now is the same one that's been there for couple months now, which is the fundraiser for the Tiltify fundraiser for Breakthrough T1D, which is a group that funds diabetes research and diabetes awareness campaigns, and that is also still live. If you want to donate to that, as a type 1 diabetic, it means a lot to me. But the campaign for Train-a-thon is still live. Those links are in the Train-a-thon streams descriptions, and the QR codes are on the screen in the streams, and so on and so forth. And those are all saved to the Model Train People YouTube channel. But we were super pleased to have raised so much money in such a relatively short period of time, one day. So thank you to everyone who tuned in to that, everyone who donated to that. All of the above. We had an excellent time. But this was started as part of that stream. And now we're going to do what we can to kind of finish it. So I'm going to do... Where did this go? There it is. Dude, I would have a blast. I would have a blast doing that. I could really get some detail. I could really get some detail for if we're doing it in large scale. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, let me get this put on here. So this car here, this is an Eastern Seaboard Models car from Brian DeBlane, and it is specifically modeled after the prototype image that I have in the corner here. This is Conrail 165317, a former Penn Central boxcar. And all of the patches and stuff was done at the factory from ESM. So I didn't have to worry about doing any of the patching or any of the re-lettering or any of that. What I have to worry about doing is weathering it to look like the actual thing now. Oh boy. You're really going to push me into being a rubber scaler even more so than I already am. I'd need to get a new camera rig to show that off. I'd have to get like a tripod set up like right here, like what I'm doing for my NERX clinic, in order to show that off. I don't think I'd have enough clearance to work here. But yeah, I'm really, I've got all sorts of people turning me into a serious rubber scaler. You know, obviously I am still and always will be N-scale train boy. But I've got an HO scale car here that's painted and still needs some decals. That's going to be for the BNCCS. That's going to be for my buddy Miles out in California. He's painting and weathering a car for his fictional railroad, the Alta California. An N-scale box car for me. So I figured I will go ahead and get that done for him. That way we can kind of do our little trade. And then I've also got a O-scale wood-sided reefer kit, an intermountain kit in O-scale that needs to get built and weathered. And that's, someone gave it to me. They were selling off some of their old stuff that they didn't get around to building. And they just wanted it to go to somewhere that it would get built and displayed. It doesn't even matter if I run it. They want me to build it and display it. And I got that last summer, and I haven't gotten around to building it yet. But exactly, there's no reason not to have a few pieces in different scales. It's, you know, it's all the hobby. It's all model railroading, and it's all fun. It's all trains. You know, that's all that really matters, is that it's all trains. Topaz, thanks for the subscription, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome to the channel and the stream. Working on this Eastern Seaboard Models car right now. This is an N scale, and it's based on the Conrail car that's shown on screen there. It's the exact number, actually, as the one on screen there. Conrail, what is it, 152387? 165317, that's what it is. So I am weathering it to match that prototype photo, which is what the Brian over at Eastern Seaboard Models used to get the patches right for the car, because the patches came on the car. I probably should take out my actual X-Acto instead of just using this blade here, but this blade is a dulled blade, and I'm never going to use it again, and I forgot to put it in my little Sharps bottle that I've got here. So I might as well make use of it, because it's still plenty sharp enough to cut tape. And this is, of course, the Tamiya masking tape, because that stuff sticks and does not leave a residue, the best of any tape I have used. But yeah. There we go. Come on, get off of my cutting mat. Come on. I really need to get some new tweezers. Some of these tweezers are really starting to get bent. They're prongs. A little piece there, a little piece there, big piece here. Okay. I've got a lot of things I've got to build. I've got that O-scale kit. I've got my girlfriend for Valentine's Day got me, was it Valentine's Day or was it for our anniversary? I don't remember which it was. Oh no, it was for Christmas. Jeez. So many things come up so quickly for us. It wouldn't be for my birthday. My birthday's already passed. She got me a similar to like the R Duck Locomotive Works like wood puzzles, where you build a locomotive. In this case, you build a locomotive and a rail car and some tracks, and it's like actually got like a cog system in there, so you can actually make it move and stuff, which is super cool. But I gotta just sit down and build it. That's gonna take me a solid, 4 or 5 hours. That's gonna be just like some Saturday or something. I just sit down and enjoy the process of building it like a little Lego kit. Yeah, that was for Christmas, I believe. It was either Christmas or Valentine's Day. I don't remember which. No, it was Christmas. For Valentine, I remember what she got me for Valentine's Day. That was much more recent. She got me a really cute sweater, which I very much appreciate and love. If you are watching out there, honey, thank you for that. I really enjoy it. Little strip. So now we can move on to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's a big patch. So actually, what I'm gonna do, I want some overspray on the Conrail here, because I got some overspray on the numbers on the other side here. If you can see if I can get it to focus. Camera, please focus. Please focus. Please focus. It's got autofocus, so it should be focusing. There it is. If you look around the numbers carefully there, you can see I actually managed to model some overspray from the stenciling process. And the reason I did that is if I go ahead and blow up the reference image here, and you look at the numbers, there is some overspray there. So I'm not going to put overspray on the numbers on the other side, but I think I will put it on the Conrail stencil on the other side. If they were just doing a rush job, But I was super happy with that. Thanks, Sean. I was super happy with that. It made me very, very happy when I peeled up all the tape and it came out exactly how I was hoping it would. That made me ecstatic. Because it, like you said, it did come out very good. And I couldn't have hoped for a better result for having never tried that technique before. I don't think I could have asked for something better. And basically the way I did that, I'll show you here. I just got a piece of masking tape, the approximate size of what the stencil would have been. So overspray is basically where they are putting the stencil on the side of the rail car. Yeah. So, Topaz, overspray is when the maintenance crew or the paint crew or the paint shop or whoever is painting the rail car, the way they get the letters on there is they have big metal stencil plates, and they will temporarily affix the stencil plate to the side of the rail car, and then using either spray paint or a paint gun or whatever, will spray the color that the numbers and letters are supposed to be. And only what's inside of the stencil should show up through. But if the crew is rushed or whatever, and they are just quickly doing it, they may go over the edges of the stencil, and then you get overspray, which is where you get that hard line and then the fade up and down of the paint. So I'm gonna model that because that's visible on the prototype photo. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say overspray. Thank you. I think it's pretty neat too. And so the way I'm modeling that is by masking off the letters. Let me do the Conrail as well, because I would have done all of that at once. Trim that down to about that. That ought to do. Come on, there we go. Oh, it's way too long. That should do. So yeah, I'm masking off basically everything that would be under the stencil. Come on. Oh, I'm trying to stick it to the non-sticky side. Nope. 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 Come on. Flatten back out. Piece of tape, please. Please flatten back out, piece of tape. I will be upset. There we go. Thank you. Right now I just got to position it just right. There we go. Okay. So now that that is all masked off, I'm going to take my brush here, and I'm going to take a little bit of this titanium white oil paint. Actually, don't use that brush. Let me use a different brush. Let me use... Where did I put my little brush bag? There we go. Let me use this brush. Let me use this brush here. This brush ought to do. I gotta wash and condition a lot of these brushes. Alright. Pick up some of this titanium white oil paint. I'm just gonna really load it up around these here. And now I'm gonna take my foam brush and just kind of wipe it all. Oh, not this one. This one's dirty. This foam brush is clean. Take this foam brush and just go ahead and wipe basically almost all of it back off. And I use the oil paint because the oil paint is very pliable and very easy to draw around and move. So theoretically, once this is done, theoretically now, when I lift up this tape, we should have those overspray marks around the lettering. If I did this right. I might put a little bit more. Yeah, put a little bit more on there and then take it back off again. All right, let's see if it worked. Come on. There we go. It worked. Yes. 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 Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about that. Yes. Now you can really, now you should be able to really see it now that you can see, you saw the before and after. It's pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome. And I kind of just figured this out on my own. I was like, well, how would I recreate that? And I already used, and I decided on this because I already used the oil paint to fade the rest of the rail car. So I used the oil paint in a thin coat across the entire car to take the existing colors and kind of fade them out and sun bleach them. So I was like, well, if I'm already using this, let me try doing this. And sure enough, it just worked. And I'm very pleased because it's so easy to do now. Like that is a very easy technique for me to use. And it's one that I now have in my toolbox of techniques that I can use. And now it's a technique that you could use in your toolbox too, if you do weathering. And now I'm going to mask over this whole block of paint. So I can rust the rest of the car. Masking is a very meticulous process, but it is a very worthwhile one. Yeah, for sure. That would be, yeah. Especially if you're... What that's really good for is situations like this, which is where an existing paint scheme has been patched over and painted for another railroad. In this case, it was a former Penn Central rail car, which got patched over and painted for Conrail after Conrail took over the Penn Central in 1976, along with 5 other Northeast railroads. I don't remember the number. It was the Erie Lackawanna, the Penn Central, the Lehigh Valley, the Central New Jersey, I think there was one more that went in there, but I can't remember it right now. That went into Conrail. I've got a Conrail book right over there. I could theoretically look, but I'm not gonna go get it. I want to get this. I want to get this job done. But in any case, yeah, Conrail took over all those railroads because they were all bankrupt. In the 1960s and 1970s, they all went bankrupt. Oh, the other one was Lehigh and Hudson River. That was another one that went into it. Ooh. Neat. I love shays. Shays are some of my favorite Some of my favorite locomotives. They've been ever since I was a little kid. And I don't know why. I don't model anything that has even a remote connection to logging railroads or, you know, shortened, you know, little industrial railroads that Shays would have been used on or anything like that. But, I don't know. I just think they're such unique, neat little steam locomotives. Yeah, that's kind of neat. It's certainly a unique and interesting prospect for sure. I'd love to see that. All of the little logging locomotives, I think, all the little logging geared locomotives, I think are so neat. The Shays, the Heislers, the Climaxes. They're just so unique. They've got their own unique, definitive style. Oh, I think they're very cool. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Yeah, I want to get a Shay really badly. I just haven't... I can't convince myself that it's worth it. Because I haven't... I don't really have a use for it. But if I can find a way to convince myself to get one, I will get one. Because I really want one. Whether it's a kit or whether it's one of the Atlas pre-assembled ones. Honestly, I would probably prefer the Atlas than the NN3 kit. Just because with NN3, then I've got to get either... I've got to hand lay some narrow gauge track, or I've got to get some Z-scale track. Whereas the Atlas one is a standard gauge Shay. So I can just slap it on my layout and let her go. But I do love some Shays. Honestly, what I might do is I might get an HO Shay and just have it as display locomotive, like you were saying earlier, Andrew, about having multiple scales as like displays and stuff like that. Because I really don't know that I would ever run an N-scale Shay other than maybe at a train show. Maybe. But I do love Shays, so... Make sure I recenter on the Keystone Kid. Should be 50. Yeah, that's cool. But I that's what I've heard about a lot of that stuff. Is beautiful, but very finicky. A lot of those kit locomotives I've heard about that. Bowser's, Tenshoto, brass stuff, and the sort. They're beautiful, they're very nice models, but they're finicky when it comes to actually operating. That's the main reason why I think I wouldn't get the kit, other than the, well, it's not the main reason. That's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't get the kit. Just because I am very much an ops guy. I mean, my current layout is a switching layout, and my future layout, the next layout that I build, I plan on also being a switching layout, just on a larger scale. But yeah, so I think it might wind up being a display if I get one. Maybe I'll build a little HO logging diorama or something and slap it on there. That would be awesome. If I ever find myself out there, I'll be sure to let you know, Andrew. It's nice, Topaz. It's a fun process building your first layout. My first layout was on a hollow core door with some Bachman Easy Track, and that stuck around for a good while. Good while. Actually, if you go back in my channel to, I guess that would be before 2019, I think, you will find my old layout. And some very poorly shot videos. Just a disclaimer. Those videos, horrific to watch. For me, at least. Hopefully, it's not actually as bad as I think it is. But horrific to watch for me. But you could see my old layout. That was my first ever real permanent, or not permanent because it was semi-permanent. Nothing was ever glued down, but I painted the board and everything, and I changed the track arrangement very rarely and very minimally. And speaking of G-scale ops, if you also go back on my channel, there's a video of an indoor G-scale layout that is all about ops, and I was running that's based on, it's an operations-based layout. It's not like a roundy. It's all about doing the jobs and stuff, which is I'm assuming what you guys are talking about as well. But it's in this dude's basement. Which is pretty sweet that he's able to do that. It had like an operating hump yard and stuff, which was pretty cool. But I was on the Shay, and my job was basically at the end of the line, or at the one end of the line, to take the cars off of. There's basically a little interchange yard. My job was to take the rail cars off of the road trains that came from the other side of the room, and bring them up the grade to the town at the top of the hill. And then switch them out for the cars that were up there, send those cars back down, and have the other train go back, which was a lot of fun to do. And I think, Sean, that's the 3-truck Shay from Spectrum might be the model that I was running that day on that layout. It very well may be, because I know it was I don't know it was a 3-truck Shay. I'm fairly certain it was a 3-truck Shay, but oh boy, yeah, that's rough, Topaz. But, good a reason as any to go ahead and improve your setup. Try out something new. Alright, so I need to get 1, 2, 3, 4 patches. And then we can beat the heck out of this car. Let me just get these little... these little scraps here. Ooh, very nice. All good, Sean. You're all caught up now. Tuck that there. I need one more little sliver for... Where'd that blade go? There it is. One more little sliver. Dockside is small. England tankage version. And life Lego 6 for a porter. Nice. Porters are interesting. Porters are interesting little locomotives. Sometimes I really wish that people made little locomotives like that and but also they'd be extremely finicky. Extremely finicky. I mean, steam locomotives in general and N scale are decently finicky. Yeah, for sure. I love critters though. I really love critters. I haven't decided yet. My first scratch build locomotive, but one of the two options is a GE, I think it's a 95 ton or 98 ton road switcher. I guess it's not really a critter, but it's pretty close to a critter. It's a small little guy. The way it looks is basically, if you take an Alco RS1, you chop off half of the short hood in length, and you chop out 4 or 5 panels of the long hood in length. And then you squish the ends back onto there. And that's the GE Class Y, which was on the New Haven Railroad, which is my love and joy. On the New Haven, they were the DEY 2s. And they're such neat little engines that I want to build one. And the other option would be the Alco HH600 prototype. Because I think that's a really neat engine. Yeah, it's kind of hard to look up. The easier way to look it up is if you look up New Haven Railroad Class DEY-2. If you look up the New Haven DEY-2, it should come up. Yeah, oh man. It's an early diesel, so you gotta love it. But it is very nice. Like I said, it looks like one of those Alco RS1s if you just kind of shorten it down a little bit. Kind of squish the ends together, and then there it is. And it would be relatively easy to build, I think. The hard part would be building the chassis, or bashing a chassis together that would work lengthwise. Although I think I might be able to make use of I might be able to make use of an S2 frame. I'd have to look into that. I looked into it at one point and I can't remember what I determined. But I looked into the wheelbase and and everything at one point. I determined, oh no, that might have been for the HH600. I don't remember. But yeah, I discovered that guy and I was like, oh man, I want one of those really badly, because they're just neat little locomotives. They didn't make it to the part of the railroad that I really want to model, which is the Maybrook line. They mostly stayed around, I believe it was Hartford Yard. It was either Hartford or it was Cedar Hill and New Haven. I can't remember which off the top of my head, but they were yard locomotives, DEYs. That's the New Haven locomotive designation: DE, diesel electric, Y, yard, and then 2 for it's the second in that designation that they got. The first was the Alco HH600s, and there's the DEY1 and the DEY1A. DEY1A was the production run. The DEY1 was the actual prototype. Nice. I've been thinking about picking up one of those SW9s, and turning it into the Conrail Express. Well, actually, no, it would have to be an SW8. But turning it into the Conrail Express switcher, which was for... I don't remember the name of the short line off the top of my head. There was a short line, and I think it was Maryland, that worked as a partner of Conrail in the 90s and 2000s. Or late 80s and 90s. Mostly was the late 90s. With a program called Conrail Express, which was basically a way to expedite shipping from Conrail to a short line railroad to a customer. It was a program that Conrail worked alongside these short lines with for like the last 2 years of their existence. And only I think 2 locomotives ever got painted in the Conrail Express livery. One was actually a Reading and Northern Dash... Was it Dash 7? It was either a Dash 7 or a U30. Or something like that. But, that one got wrecked pretty shortly after. But the SW... I think it's... I don't think it's actually an SW8. I think it's an SW 1200. But, I think that's a really neat prototype, and I it's not in my era, but I could totally justify myself. I could totally justify it to myself to build that, because it's just a neat little, interesting little thing. Yeah, Lifelike has good stuff. Lifelike, especially some of that later Lifelike stuff, really quality model work. I mean, this right here. This is my Lifelike. This is my current only Lifelike model. Do I have another Lifelike? I don't think so. This is currently my only Lifelike locomotive, but it is a C425 Alco Sentry. I did a slight kit bash on it. I shaved down the there was dynamic brake equipment on this panel, but the New Haven ordered their Centuries without dynamic brakes. So I shaved that all off, puttied it, cleaned it up. So those are now flat panels. The only thing that's not accurate about this locomotive is the cab. This has... Let me try and get it so that... There we go. You can kind of see. So this has a roof-mounted horn and a vertically stacked headlight pair. The New Haven had horizontal headlights in between the number boards and a front-mounted horn just to this, just above the number boards. So that's not exactly accurate. And if I find someone that can 3D model it well enough, I would probably pay them to model and print it. I don't have the capability to model and print right now, although Andrew and Sean, you guys are really... I think when I move out, I think I might just have to get a printer, because you guys are really selling me on it. But I don't have the knowledge really to do the modeling for that. No, I don't have the knowledge of the prototype. I don't have the dimensions and everything. Although I'm sure I could get them through the NHRHTA, the New Haven Railroad Technical and Historical Association, which I am a part of. But yeah, long story short, Lifelike makes good stuff. And I've been very pleased with this locomotive, and I'm looking to get some Lifelike sea liners, Fairbanks Marsh sea liners. And I want to kit bash one of the sea liners into one of the 5-axle sea liners that the New Haven bought, which is a BO-A1A wheel arrangement, meaning it had a 2-wheel truck in the front and a 2-axle truck in the front and a 3-axle truck in the rear, just like the New Haven's FL9s. And I believe that was to better distribute the weight of the what's it called? Boiler. The steam heater for the passenger equipment. But no one sells. Well, that's not true. I think AHM or Atlas or someone, maybe Rossi, I don't remember. Someone sold a five axle sea liner in like the 70s or 60s, and it is not. You see, you asking for a bit of a quid pro quo there. Quid pro quo there, Sean. Go, and now I just gotta get this guy. Andrew, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you maybe on Sean's stream if I can tune in during work, if I'm not too busy to kind of tune in the background. Otherwise, I'll see you around the internet, man. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Sean. Nah, it's all about learning and just getting there. For me, really, the knowledge is just that I need more information on the actual dimensions of the cab. And I need to do some testing and get back into 3D modeling, because I haven't done 3D modeling in about a year now. Last time I did some intense 3D modeling was school. And that was 3D modeling of an entirely different type and an entirely different level of detail that would be needed to print, so. Ooh, HON22. Interesting. I find it so neat. There's so many different narrow gauges out there that you can model. It's so cool. It's so interesting to me. I don't know. All right, let's get this side done, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. So I need to mix up a little bit of my light brown rust for these rust spots. Oh shoot, so much orange came out of that paint bottle. Nice. Always good to reuse pieces of broken models. That way they don't go to waste. Always great. Let's get these rust dots down. Styrene and tripwood. That's the scratch builder and the kit basher's best friends right there. Yep, I'm gonna see if I can tune in on Wednesday, Sean. I usually try to, but it all comes down to how busy I am at work. Because, you know, if I have to really focus on work, if we're coming up on a deadline or something, then I've got to focus on my drafting work, and I can't really spare the mental energy to focus on two things at once. But as long as it's not too busy, I always do enjoy tuning in, even if it's just to listen to you and Andrew chat. So. So what I'm doing here, in case it's not obvious, is on the prototype photo, there's lots of these tiny little specks of rust. All these little dots of rust across the car. So I'm going in and adding a whole bunch of these with my light rust color, and then I'll go back in and fill in some with my dark rust color. And then on top of all that, I'm going to put my powders, my weathering powders. And that will give that like kind of overall grime and rust and grunge look that the car in the prototype photo has. And that's exactly what I did on the other side, and you know, came up pretty good over there, so. Actually 009. 00 is so interesting to me, especially 009. Conceptually, it's super interesting. I've only ever seen, like, in person, 100 layout. It was actually very neat. It was at the Poughkeepsie Train Show last fall. It was the beginning of November, so still fall. It was based on Reverend Audrey's layout. With the, Island of Sodor. It was very neat layout. And the guys that were running it had built it based on some of Reverend Audrey's pictures and using some of the location names from Audrey's books. And they were actually using Reverend Audrey's like, what's the words that I'm looking for? Like operating schedule type setup that he had written down to run the layout. So they had a schedule and a fast lock, and certain trains would go on the layout, do their shunting or get to the station, load, unload, and then depart again off the layout back to staging. Based on that fast clock, which was very, very cool to see. So that was nice. It was MSR. It was not. It was just the standard stuff. So it was a very cool layout. Actually, was it? It might have been Farquhar. Now that you say that. I don't know, it's in my live stream from the Poughkeepsie Train Show. If you go back and look at it, it's there. And now I don't remember. Now I'm not so sure. I don't know. Anyways, not important right now. But that's the only 00 layout I've ever seen in person. It was a very neat layout. So now I'm going back in with my oil paint, my dark brown oil paint here, to add the active rusting spots onto these dots of rust. The lighter rust is stuff that is fully oxidized and is starting to flake off, whereas the dark brown stuff is in the process of oxidizing. At least I believe that's how it works. Pretty sure. Oh, nice. Very interesting. I love little stories and things like that. I love when it's one of my favorite parts. I mean, that's the reason why I love weathering so much. Is it inherently gives a rail car a story to tell. That's why I do freelance model railroading with my Balfour and Collegiate Creek Southern Railroad. That's why I do a lot of what I do. Is all in in relation to telling a story. Oh, gotcha. Cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Alright, I gotta finish this up and get moving here. So let me do this quickly. I'm just realizing how late it is and how long I've been streaming now. Been streaming for coming up on 2 hours, so I gotta get moving. This was intended to be a relatively short stream because I was going to go back to recording my clinic on weathering for the NERX virtual convention, which is happening next month. Because I started recording that before my stream. But, yeah, that's not happening now tonight. I'm not getting back to that tonight. Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll get back to that. Really kind of coat these raised areas because those won't get the powder to stick to them as well. Alright, that'll do. You know what, I might actually just leave it here for tonight, because really this oil paint ought to cure a little bit before I start on the powder. So, I think I might leave it there for the night. No, I really want to finish this. We're gonna let it sit for just a minute. Oh geez, worm gears are the worst to replace if you can't find repair parts. I've thankfully not run into that yet, despite buying a number of used locomotives. But yeah. Split gears, split worm gears, really annoying to deal with. Oh boy. I am sleepy. Oh jeez. That is very tight. Yeah, of course, Sean. I think I am gonna finish this. I'm gonna get it done. Because I just want to. Of course, Topaz. It's my pleasure. The reason why I do these streams is so I can share what I do and, you know, maybe hopefully teach you all a little something along the way. But, you know, the whole reason I have my YouTube channel is because I enjoy sharing the hobby with you all out there. For me, it's all about the community. It's all about sharing what I know so that you all can learn from it. You know, these are skills that I've built up over the course of like almost a decade now. I've been working on weathering projects. A lot of my earlier ones didn't turn out so good, but that's why I share with you now what I know. That way you can learn and improve, just like I did. Wait, I'm doing the wrong color first. I need to do in the brown first. So I'm using my weathering powders here now, in case you couldn't tell. That's good on the brown. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the light rust color, and then I'm going to go in with the dark rust color. I went a little overboard on this side. But there we go. I'd say that's pretty good. So let me cap these powder boxes so I don't knock them everywhere and then have to deal with cleaning that all up, because that's a pain in the rear. Blow all the excess off. Nice. Good stuff, Sean. All right, let me do a little cleanup work here. I want to clean this off. Clean this off. Where's my other little swabs? Where did I put those little swabs? They're right here. Oh, there they are. Hey, Mother Slug. Glad to hear that it's relaxing. And don't worry about it. It's all fine. You know, as long as you're enjoying the stream, that's all that matters to me. Whether that's you're enjoying it because you're enjoying watching what I'm working on, or you're enjoying it because you're having a nice little nap. Doesn't really matter to me. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I overdid a little bit on this side, but that's okay. Alright, let's go ahead and peel it all up. And take a look at our final product. This is always the most satisfying part, is the peeling. Very nice. Very, very nice. You know, Sean, the nice thing about these streams is if you want to go back to them, they're always going to be up on my channel. I keep meaning to put together a playlist of all these weekly weathering and mores. But I haven't yet. But the streams are all still here, so you can always come back here and reference them. Right, now I gotta clean off right here. There we go. That way their full reporting mark is visible. Get the door. Oh, let's get this here. I love the part where I go around and peel up all of the the tape. It's my favorite part. It's like it's the big reveal, you know? There's that stencil marked Conrail logo with the overspray. And that, make sure I didn't miss any of the tape. Doesn't look like I did. So that is going to be that for the night. Because I got to go make my lunch for work tomorrow and get ready for bed. Because it is now 11:30 at night for me. But, yeah, this came out good. Now I just gotta do the ends and the roof. But now we've got this side and this side both done. So thanks you guys all for tuning in. Topaz, it was wonderful for you to hop in and get to know you a little bit and hear about what you're working on. Mother Slug, always a pleasure having you in chatting. Sean, of course, always a pleasure having you in chatting. Hope you all have a wonderful evening or afternoon or whatever time of the day it is for you. And, yeah, I'll see you on the next track, everyone.